Y'all are so blinded by lust and infatuation. It is the worst I've ever seen. You were destined for your family to break up. The insanity continues, and the biggest question is, does Mahdi walk out and finally call it quits? We will see, because it does get intense. And also, does Sarper make up with Dan because Shakinah demanded him to? Interesting things going on. Welcome to Reality Trainwreck. We got all kinds of craziness with 90 Day Fiance because it never seems to stop. But make sure you hit that like and comment if you want to drop a comment below. Thank you for supporting the channel. Y'all are awesome. Let's get right into it.
You need to understand that my friends are like my chosen family.
What? Her chosen family, you say?
I know.
I have a lot of issues with my actual family, but those are people that are close to me like family.
Hold on a second. The whole thing was that he has to sell himself to her family that she now admits she has a lot of issues with, and yet her real family is her friends, who one of them is an ex that is kind of a creepy stalker type Frenchman. What is she talking about, contradicting herself left and right?
This comedy night really blew up because Sarper made a jab at Dan, and it was a low blow.
Was it a low blow, though? Was it really? Or was it just that Dan keeps poking the bear because for some reason he thinks that he's got it like that, and he's just waiting for something to happen? Which, by the way, Sarper has been very, very controlled in this. I gotta give him credit for that. But we'll see why he has this little Frenchman Napoleon syndrome, if you will.
He found a reason to show himself as a victim.
You gave him that reason.
What?
You literally handed it to him on a silver platter.
What?
Because you were the villain.
Hold on a second. He was the villain? Look at look at him point himself like that. He was the villain in this because he made some minor jokes at Dan at his stand-up show after Dan continued to start this feud by constantly insinuating that he did more with Shakinah than she's admitting to, but for some reason that's okay with her, right? None of it makes sense.
It's so annoying that Sarper still can't handle me telling him directly what I need him to do.
My God. Please run for your life, Sarper, as you have become the one that is liked, and she is just the one that is not liked. The statement right there of, it's really crazy that he's having trouble actually doing what I want him to do. Just because you want him to do something doesn't mean it is the right thing to do. Like, I don't know, making up with your ex who no one understands until this point why he's even still in your life. Oh, but we figure it out. We'll get there. Make sure you stick around because we will get to why he is actually here, or at least my thoughts on that.
And he found out about all of the nude stuff. And we're going to a burlesque show, so I don't know that this is probably the best setting for them to see each other again, but...
Hold on a second. So you admit that it was really crazy when he found out that you painted your friend topless and he was uncomfortable, and you thought, hey, you know what would be good when he's got all these questions about my sexuality and things? Let's take him to a burlesque show that I'm extremely excited about, and I'm not even trying to hide it. Yeah, that seems like a good idea, Stevi. And you don't think that Mahdi is going to be a little uncomfortable? I mean, look at this. That guy right there is extremely uncomfortable. Like, and yet you don't recognize this and say, okay, maybe this is too much for him. Instead, you let him get to a certain point of just having too much.
A couple of weeks ago, I was in a country that you could have been arrested or even killed just because of not having a job.
And by the way, Mahdi is really trying to assimilate and really trying, and he likes being in America, he said it, but that doesn't mean you're going to completely change how he was raised and what he's seen for his entire life. And he's sitting here saying that, oh, by the way, in my country, you could actually be unalived for not wearing a hijab, but yet you're bringing him to a burlesque show, which he's constantly said that he's not really comfortable with the sexual type stuff. And yet you think this is a good idea to what? Exposure therapy? My God, he's been here for a couple weeks. The reality is she wants this for her. This isn't about him. This is for her. But she's going to try to make it seem like it's about him because she's not really caring about... She's just selfish. She's selfish.
À ma vie, en fait. Je sais que si j'ai un problème, peu importe
any problem.
la grandeur du
No matter how
problème,
serious, great.
Vous voyez les sortes de relations qu'on se dit...
What is it?
La personne peut tuer.
Whoa. Where this is a person can, we'll say, unalive.
Et t'aider à garder le cadavre.
So her sister is so reliable that she can help her dispose of a person that has been unalived. Mark, you may want to rethink this relationship because I think she's got some some dark thoughts in her head.
Sorry, it's more for me because I coming here, I eat too much.
Ah.
I'm very stressed.
She's stressed, she eat too much. She blew up a little bit for the wedding dress. She's saying, look, all I know is, yeah, there's an overeating problem in the United States because we have giant portions. But I feel like that if I was in France, I would be about 500 pounds because I'd be eating too many damn pastries. Like, my God, you wouldn't be able to get me out of the damn bakery. Oh, this is nice. A present from the sister.
God.
Very nice. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What the hell is that? Good God. So, that lady right there that's staring, look at that face. She's like, oh my God, do not wear those.
You're standing.
Look, no, absolutely not. Look, I'm sorry. A good friend, a good person would say, hey, you know what? Those might not fit your face contour exactly. Giant pearl earrings that just look absurdly huge and out of place on her head. My God, she looked, she's a pretty woman. What are you going to do? You take off those earrings, but once you put them on, I don't even know. What the hell? Why would her sister give her those?
The wedding.
Oh, that's nice. That's really nice.
This is amazing. No?
So her sister gave her basically a pendant, like a locket kind of thing that had a picture of her mom. I think it said a mom and a dad, but apparently the mom passed away a couple years ago, so she's not able to be at her wedding, and she said the one thing she's wanted is for her mom to be at her wedding, and this is one way that she can be there. So that's really nice, and clearly that really touched her. So, you know what? Power to her. Her sister's really trying to be supportive, other than the pearl earring, but that's okay. We'll let that go because she seems like she's really caring otherwise, just that one minor thing. But that was a very nice thing to do. It clearly meant a lot.
¿Les dijiste mi nombre?
Did you tell him my name?
¿Sí?
Yeah.
¿Por qué?
Why?
¿Por qué no quieres decir tu nombre?
Exactly. Why do you not want them to know your name? Like, now she's, okay, this is where it starts to get awkward. She's talking to him in Spanish. They clearly don't understand a lot of Spanish. So she's doing this so they don't know what she's saying. She's asking, why would you tell him my name? And then she just kind of goes into this really awkward exchange, which gets really kind of crazy to why they're even still there and didn't get up right at that moment when they found out they don't even know her real name.
Ellos dicen que van a casar contigo.
Yeah.
Sí, pero eso me corresponde a mí.
Sí.
¿Por qué dices cosas que, por qué te metes en cosas que no? Vas a
So they called him, and now she's asking him why he got involved. This guy, I will give him credit from the get-go. He keeps saying he's trying to be honest. Now, maybe he's trying to mess stuff up. It doesn't appear that way, but now she's mad at him for just being honest about things. So there's only really one honest person here, and it's this guy.
The whole timeline of our relationship flashed in front of me, and I just
did
tried to
it?
make sense of things like, I never booked her a flight ticket ever before.
Oh.
I never actually looked at her ID.
You mean you were blinded by the Tijuana hooker? I'm sorry, Tijuana. The Tijuana hooker? You were blinded by the stripper that you met randomly that clearly is probably also hooking on the side, and you never thought to maybe actually not just blindly trust her? I mean, what is wrong with you? Again, you have kids getting involved in this, and you just thought this was a good idea. They've got to be the dumbest couple I think I've ever seen.
Retorted.
Oh, no.
Ensenada, I think.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I think I might tell you my real name.
Time.
Because you're angry all the time. Every excuse she could think of. And the cry on this one to try to really make them feel sympathy by saying, she really gets into it with the cadences of the sounding of her voice, trying to make it sound like she's really sobbing when you're just looking like, my God, I feel like a 4-year-old could fake cry better than you. And yet they're still there. They haven't gotten up and walked yet.
And the fact that you switched is mind blowing.
I'm an old man. My timeline's up.
That's insane. So what happened was then they questioned about the whole she's still married thing. She's claiming she's not. And now he's backtracking even though he claimed that she told him she was still married. And now he's like, oh, I must have misunderstood. I'm an old man. He's like, I don't want to mess up me getting a little something on the side. So I'm just going to backtrack on this whole thing. Clearly, this chick is really just trying to get at them for money, for status. I don't know what exactly she's doing. Maybe she never has a plan to come to the United States anyway and is trying to milk it for as long as she can to get them to send money. It should have been a red flag as soon as you knew that the bank account was in this fool's name. But you're too damn stupid to think, hey, maybe some of these red flags need to be investigated. So what do? You come down here and say, we're going to go on a vacation to learn more because we want to get to know her better. Y'all are so blinded by lust and infatuation. It is the worst I've ever seen. You were destined for your family to break up, and you know what? You're going to deserve everything y'all got. You know who doesn't deserve it? The same thing I keep saying, your kids, but you don't even care about them because you're not even thinking about them right now. The only time you bring up your kids is when you're saying, I should have stayed home with my kids, because you're upset and angry and throwing a 5-year-old tantrum.
Any woman that can snap her fingers like that and change a man's memory, that's trained.
Like you? Like you, bro? That's all you have. All these women have been doing this whole time is changing your memory, because you keep talking about these red flags and then all of a sudden everything's good when either you get a little something or they talk to you and manipulate your brain because you're a weak, sorry excuse for a man. That's all you are. But you're going to criticize this guy? At least he was honest with y'all. You're not even honest with your damn self about what's going on.
I feel sad, I feel bad.
Oh yeah, look at that. They still bang. He's kissing her on her head. He's rubbing her, all this kind of stuff. But y'all ain't together? Oh, they're still banging. Oh, they're definitely. She gives it up a little bit when she needs something. She is the epitome of someone who will give it up to get what she needs. Yeah, you know what that's called? A hooker. And that's what she is. She's just trying for status. She's trying to get money. She's trying to get whatever she can. And she's trying to basically sleep her way to the top. But you know what? At some point, that backfires and you end up lower than you were before. It's not a good route to go. She better start turning that crap around now.
I am no liar with
What?
anymore.
Anymore?
Only with my name.
Oh, you're not a liar anymore, only with your name. You've been caught in about 50,000 lies, and yet you just always try to explain it away, or at least conveniently leaving things out. But you're clearly a liar, and damn, it's probably borderline pathological, but I don't know if it's there yet, because I don't know if you actually believe it, and you're just doing it to advance.
Definitely nervous. I don't even know how to, like, you know, talk to my supervisor or anything like that. It's been so long.
That's pathetic. Like, he's nervous. That's fine. Starting a new job, being nervous, there's nothing wrong with that, even if you've worked a bunch of jobs in your life. But saying, I don't even know how to talk to my supervisor because I haven't done this in so long, that's pathetic. Like, you shouldn't have any kind. You're in your 30s and you have an extended period of time where you haven't been working. For what? Because you were trying to find yourself? Because you were trying to bake your way to the top? That is just sad.
I can't wait for you to come back and do everything you want.
What?
And I mean whatever you want.
He goes to work for one day, and if he comes back and still has the job, she will do whatever he wants. Just think of what she's going to do when he comes home and says, hey, we're buying that house today. My good gracious. Like, damn. Maybe this was like 4D chess and him trying to set the standard so low, and now he's like, hey, I'm doing stuff now, and he's really just doing common things that everyone should do. I don't know, maybe he's a genius and just an evil genius behind the scenes.
Again, I haven't had to answer to a boss for years now, since before COVID. So it's definitely.
So this was probably recorded, a year ago or something like this. So you're talking 4 years. I mean, you didn't even try. I guarantee he got comfortable and then he didn't even try to get a job for all those years. I mean, obviously, because he didn't even go to an interview because it wasn't himself. So if he wants to blame COVID for like the first few months or whatever, fine. And he's in New York. It was a little more strict there anyway. Fine. But you know what? You have no excuse for not having a job for like 4 years.
I prefer a dress where I can show off my calves, and when I stand up to twerk, yes, I can see my butt twerking.
Damn, she's trying to get the dress made specifically for twerking. Like, are you going to get made out of straight spandex? I'm like, all right. She knows what she wants. She wants utility. Give me something that works.
And when she said she didn't need me, I did feel a little hurt. And because I've been helping her all along through this,
and she has. And this was an interesting situation because basically what happened is she asked Gregg's mom asked if she wanted her to go in with her with help with the wedding dress, and she said, well, I really want this to be a first-time thing with my family. They're going to be on the call, so I kind of want to do it that way. So that's understandable. I mean, 9 times out of 10, the bride-to-be is not going with their mother-in-law for the dress stuff. Now, this is a very unique situation also, so it could have been handled differently. Instead of her just saying no, maybe she could have said, yeah, I really want to let them see it first, but then maybe I'll call you in because I'd really like your opinion too. So it could have been handled differently on both ends. I don't think she should be getting as offended as she has, but I also think Joan probably could have given her a little bit there. Yes. Yes. Yes, they're talking about all the surgeries that Aaliyah wants to have, and yet we're still not really acknowledging the fact that neither one of them are going to make it because he does not want all the surgeries to occur, and yet Aaliyah wants all the surgeries, yet they're not even talking about this. Aaliyah clearly is going to go through with all the crap, but Sean is not even saying, hey, by the way, if you go through, yeah, this ain't going to work out. Instead, try to say, well, maybe. I think he really thinks that's not going to happen. Clearly, Aaliyah has it in the future that it is going to be done, and there's really no other reality. So you might as well get used to it and either accept or get out now.
Do you think your marriage could survive that?
There's no way of knowing. It's like me.
He's still trying to dance around the issue, saying, you never really know. You're just not admitting it at this point for whatever reason. I still don't understand what's going on here. Once you get married, you are going to be liable on a lot of levels. And if it's not something you want, you're still going to be responsible financially on some level to support. So get out now or don't, I guess, but reap the consequences. What the hell does this guy do? He's going to Dan's house trying to appease Shakinah, and this fool lives in a mansion. Comment below if you live in California, but I know that the prices there are ridiculous. This is probably a $5 to $10 million mansion that this guy lives in, so clearly he's not just one of the friends groups. What do you think his role is? I have some thoughts.
I mean, I didn't come here to look your castle,
Yeah, really?
I came here to talk with you.
Oh, I think you deserve a little tour.
So he's saying, I'm trying to talk to you. He's like, no, I'm going to show you a tour. This is where he's trying to get him back. He's trying to make himself feel bigger with his Napoleon complex because he's got money. Let me tell you something. Some of the weakest people are the ones that show ego like this just because you have money, just because you have things and think you are just on top of the world, when in reality, you're an extremely weak person inside. And that's what I see with Dan. He's trying to show off his money to be like, hey, I have more than you, Sarper, so guess what? I'm better than you. When in reality, he has no personality. He's a coward. He's a piece of human debris. He's someone that is basically a stalker that can't get away from Shakinah long enough to actually live his own life. And he's probably only there because they use him for something. What do you think it is? Have you seen their faces lately?
Was a revenge.
Your stand-up comedy that just showed like how insecure and jealous person you are.
Who's the insecure and jealous one? The one who holds this flame to Shakinah that's never going to be realized and literally just walked him around the house to show how much better you are, which screams insecurity to me, or Sarper, who took a couple jabs at you at a comedy show to kind of say, haha, I'm going to get you back here, but nothing really major. I'm going to venture to say the smaller person here is Dan.
What do you think? You think you're the only bad boy here? Yeah,
oh.
Trust me, I can be a very bad boy.
I could be so bad, like so totally bad. Like that's how he says, like, no, seriously, you don't want me to show you how bad I can be, like really super, super bad. Like that's how he sounds right here, trying to sell something that no one believes and they're laughing at you behind your back. This guy, for some reason, has an overinflated ego. Looks like it's because he has money, but even that, I'm like, I don't know who gasses you up, but they need to stop, for real.
She saw it in Paris, and now she's living there.
Oh.
It's very different.
So they're talking about why she basically doesn't want to live in New Hampshire, and, she wants to live in a city, and they're trying to make excuses. And he's saying, I I told her this is where I live. I showed her. I did all these things. And their excuse is, well, seeing it there was different than actually living it. Okay, yeah, sure, but you have to accept that you see it and then you say everything's good and say you like it there, and then once you get there, you change your mind. What that says to me is you never really changed your mind, but that you said it while you were there to get over here, and then you're like, oh, but we can move, and had this high hope. Look, this guy has a hangar for a plane in his driveway, like a car garage, so why would anyone want to leave, especially someone who's a pilot, want to move from there?
Talked about it on my birthday.
Yeah.
The prenup, Justin.
Yep.
Putting in the adoption. You want to go ahead and do that now? I said I would do it.
Oh, there you go. All right.
And you sure you don't need to talk to Jordan?
Okay, listen. So he has said he wants to adopt, her son, and he said he's going to adjust the prenup for that. He had planned on doing it all along. He comes in and says, hey, I told you when we get back, we do it right away. You want to go ahead and do that? We can get that taken care of. What does she say? You sure you don't want to talk to Jordan first? He has done too much talking to Jordan at all, but in this case, she's not involved at all. None of the decision making. There's no reason for you to do that. That's the equivalent of her bringing up the prenup, or Jordan bringing up the prenup in front of family, which was completely uncalled for. You doing that here makes absolutely no sense. You got what you wanted. He's seems to get what he wanted. So just accept it. Let the little jabs go. And when Jordan really does insert herself in the future, which she will, bring it up.
I have told him multiple times to communicate with me if he felt uncomfortable and wanted to leave. So I don't really know what's going on.
Well, maybe you would actually know if you left to find out. But instead of leaving and saying, hey, you okay? It might have been a little bit of a culture shock to you. You stayed there to finish the show while he was very clearly uncomfortable. And you're going to say, I told him to tell me. I'm like, okay, well, next time if he says, I told you to tell me when you're upset, and you're getting mad at him and you're giving him the cold shoulder for 3 days, then maybe he should say, hey, I told you to tell me, though, and see how you like it. I'm sure it'll go over well.
It's welcome to New Orleans. It's art, It's
just
okay. What they do is fun.
Yeah.
Let's go hit some bars. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. So he's trying to smooth it over the husband of one of the others, saying, oh, it's just art. What do you know? I'm like, yeah, that's not going to really sit well with them who are like, we don't have any of this in Iran, and I'm just trying to get used to the basics. That was a lot. Instead, it's like, it's just art, man. She was swinging them in your face with them tassels. Yeah, that's just art. I'm like, all right, whatever you say, I guess.
And I think when you get married to someone, it's a commitment, and people can change and they may do weird things, and you just have to learn to live with one another because you made a commitment to each other.
Okay, you see what she said there. Good point out, because I actually missed this, and my wife pointed this one out. Interesting red flag there of saying, hey, when you get married to someone, they may change and do weird things, but you just have to kind of accept it because of the commitment. That says to me that she is going to have some stuff that comes out that he's going to have to accept because it's going to be different and weird. So he's probably right about her all along, and then she's just expecting, hey, once we get married, you just have to accept it. Now, once you're married, of course you make that commitment. But at the same time, if you're completely lying about who you are, then that's also not a good thing either.
Yeah, so I'm really sorry about that.
Okay, see.
I can't believe you just said that. What's happening?
What on earth? I can't believe he did it. What's happening? I mark my words. I'm marking that. I'm going to clip that, and I'm going to use that in future videos because that was about the best response and thing I've ever seen, just the way he did. That was fantastic. His friend is not understanding what's going on. Why on earth did he apologize? He was completely justified. At least that's what his friend is thinking. Now, I think he was justified in a lot of things, for sure. He's trying to keep the peace. I get it. But with Stevi, it's going to snowball. She's going to make him feel bad or do something to where he needs to apologize and feel like he doesn't really have any kind of outlet or a way to feel like he is normal there. And the problem with that is he's going to let it build up. He's going to let it just be internalized, and it's going to blow up. And maybe at that point he goes back to Iran. So it's not a good thing.
I think at this time, Mahdi is so culturally overwhelmed that
True.
he can't think straight.
Probably true.
This is way more than just cultural difference. This might be something that later he just regrets.
Oh, I think so. I think this is going to lead to a bad road and going to lead to really problematic things in their relationship, and they just can't see it yet. She's jumping the gun. He's jumping the gun. They're trying to rush to it when in reality they both... I really think it's more him that has reservations at this point, but he's trying to disregard those and just run through with it. What he doesn't realize is once you get married, it's just more complicated, and if it doesn't work out, trying to get away from it.
Be with strangers on my wedding day, so this really makes me sad.
It is sad. The whole family cried. It is sad. That would be very difficult. But, that's the nature of it. And unfortunately with visas, they don't always have the easiest pathway, and they couldn't get visas till the following year. So it is what it is. You either have the option of waiting, which they obviously didn't want to do, and trying to get their, K1 visa at a later point, or you have to go forward with it and your family might not be able to be there. So obviously it's difficult and it's going to be tough. But if it's what you want, then, difficult decision.
Based on what I hear right now, I don't think your relationship's gonna last.
Guy, he's still doing it. He's still doing it. And you know what? Sarper, to his credit, is really holding it in. I'm surprised he hasn't just hauled off and just smacked him. Not even punched him, just smacked him. Put some baby powder on his hands. Psh, just smack him across the face and said, you know what? I'm going to get you. And then, obviously Dan pulls out a baguette and hits him with a loaf of bread or something because, Frenchman or something. But at the same time, Sarper is trying to be reserved. Credit where it's due on that one. But, I don't know how much more poking and prodding Dan's going to get.
He is playing with me. He is walking around dangerous territory.
He's absolutely, at this point, Dan just doesn't think anything's going to happen. Like I said, maybe it's the ego, maybe it's the money, thinking nothing's going to happen to him. But the problem here is he knows he is secure in the friend group. You know why? Because at this point, it appears that he is probably the one that finances all their Botox or something. Why the hell else would he be there? There's no reason for him to be there. He lives in this $5-10 million mansion, whatever it is. Give me your guesstimates, or if you live in California, drop it in the chat. Let me know how much you think that house is. I'm guessing between 5 and 10, somewhere in there. And he knows his position's secure. So he probably gives them their money for their Botox or something because Shakinah lives in this tiny apartment. I don't know where her friends live. Either way, I think that he has there's some ulterior motive with the friend group to keep him around. Why the hell else would you have him there and ride or die for him when he is clearly a stalker?
But if I think about something and if I feel something, you know what? Instead of keeping it for me, we're going to talk again.
Okay, great. So now they're basically burying the hatchet right now, saying, okay, we're 1 for 1, we're even. You took shots, I took shots. But then Dan, of course, says, but, in the future, if I see a concern, I'm going to bring it up to you. I'm like, Dan, just shut the up, because there's no reason for you to be here or even speak words. You shouldn't even have the friend group. My God, you're pathetic.
Dan pushed me so hard to lose my control, but I didn't.
No, he didn't. And like I said, credit to Sarper. But you know who is the real villain in this? Shakinah. Because there is no reason she should be keeping Dan around or not just tearing into him for completely poking and prodding, which she knows he is doing. She really must want that Botox money, because otherwise, why the hell are you not standing up for your man who is clearly trying to not fight this guy and trying to keep the peace for you? Instead, you want to sit there and say, you have to make up with my friend. This should be the ultimate red flag for Sarper, and he should run for the hills. But clearly, he's still trying to make it work.
I can't guarantee you that our marriage would survive if you had gender reassignment surgery.
At least he finally said it. My God, for whatever reason, they've been dancing around this issue the whole time, when clearly they both cannot be that stupid to not realize it's not going to work, because neither one of them want what the other one wants. That's pretty damn clear. And finally he says it, even though he still dances around it a little bit by saying, I can't guarantee you it would survive. Dude, you know it's not going to survive. You know that. But okay, fine. At least you gave something here.
I have skirted around just trying to support Aaliyah, but in this one moment, I feel like I'm telling her, this is too far for me, and I think I hope she's understanding what I'm saying.
Well, there's no understanding. Y'all aren't going to end up together. And you saying, in this one moment, I was kind of being honest. You weren't really, because you still gave that little bit of hope, but you gave more than you had. Either way, you might as well end it right here and say, hey, it's been a nice beach day. Well, nice knowing you, because we might as well have had a nice day for the last one, because it's not going to last. Clearly, the show is nothing short of just complete and utter madness, with no one really being super supportive 100% to their significant others, and no one really doing the right thing when it comes to their relationships. But that's why it's a great train wreck of a show, and it continues to be, and we will continue to follow it. And also next week, we are going to be starting with the new 90-day show of Searching for Love or whatever it is, because it appears to be some sort of reality show. So that should be interesting. So check that out. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. I appreciate all the support, and I will see y'all next time.